Driving west from Las Cruces, it doesn't take long to find horses grazing and rows of pecan trees. Steve Wilmoth lives here, and he also owns a ranch on part of what would become the Organ Mountains Desert Peaks Monument. That's if President Obama signs a recent proposal by New Mexico Senators Udall and Bingaman. Wilmoth has a deep connection to the land.
My great-grandfather in 1888, when he trailed cattle from Texas, accessed this area by the Butterfield Trail.
The Butterfield Trail goes across his ranch today.
I don't think he would understand the effect of the Butterfield Trail on the intention of the monument if he knew that ultimately it will eliminate one of his descendants from this land and from this industry. He simply would not have understood.
Las Cruces resident Diana Davidson hiked the Sierras de los Uvas and hopes the land becomes a monument.
So we can preserve this for generations to come, because I would like my grandchildren and their children for, in the future, and other people to be able to see this, because this is part of our heritage here.
So does David Chavez. His main concern is Native American heritage.
Just crossing over that little section of an Indian settlement, and it's just virgin, it's sitting there. Having somebody come in a four-wheeler, or just people picking up stuff and taking it, it removes our culture, it removes our history. And that's the most important thing that we need to save. We got to remember our past to know what's going on in the future.
Trash and destruction has been an issue at two monuments in Arizona, the Sonoran Desert and Ironwood Forest monuments. According to a May 2012 article in the Arizona Republic, the Bureau of Land Management has been increasing patrols at both those monuments. In that article, a BLM ranger describes fresh signs of smuggling activity, including boots made of carpet that smugglers use to conceal footprints, and backpacks and water jugs. We spoke with Doña Ana County Sheriff Todd Garrison over the phone. He's concerned with a change in access by roads to the areas west and south of Las Cruces.
The roads will be limited, very limited, and the problem is right now we have patrols out there 2 or 3 times a week keeping eyes on things and recovering stolen vehicles and, drug-related crimes and different things like that.
We also reached out to the U.S. Border Patrol. They said they can't comment right now since the legislation is still pending. Critics say large monuments violate the Antiquities Act, but defenders say the president should have full discretion. Well, right now, the courts still give the president ultimate power. Richard Haas, the chair of the Las Cruces Chamber of Commerce, says for him it's an issue of size.
We're not opposed to protecting, our cultural resources, but we are a little bit concerned that might be a significant amount of land.
The proposed Organ Mountains National Monument would be around 600,000 acres. That's slightly larger than the Sonoran Desert Monument, which is about 500,000 acres outside Phoenix, Arizona. The Ironwood Forest Monument is around 130,000 acres. Both were created in 2000 by President Clinton. As divisive as this monument can be at times, residents of Doña Ana County seem to agree on one thing.
I don't think there's ever really any question about the Organ Mountains.
None of us have ever objected to protection of the organs.
If the general public wishes to try to protect the Organ Mountains, that's a good thing to try to protect.
We see that. It is part of our being just like anybody, and we often see it more in a different light than most folks. We see it at sunup.
For KRWG News, I'm Sloan Patton.